Welcome, all, welcome, all. I appreciate that, man. Y'all don't know how much I appreciate that, man. I want to welcome y'all back to another edition of the Hoss Nation Show. I am your host, Mac Maxwell, aka Sleep, aka Pound City, aka one of the chosen few, aka City Limits. And I just want to thank y'all for anybody that's listening to this or that's going to listen to this. I really do appreciate y'all. Y'all don't understand how much your listening ship means to me. So thank you in advance. I'm not going to really be here long. There's a couple things I wanted to touch on. And one thing I wanted to talk about was people doing their jobs. And why is it so hard for people to do their jobs? And this shit baffles me because, work today, the supervisor wanted to tell everybody about the 16 mistakes that happened today. And we all know where the mistakes come from. But instead of them doing something about it, reprimand, whatever the fuck the case may be, they just let the shit go on. And that shit baffles me, man. Working at this job lets me know how easy management is. And I don't know if that's a bad thing, but it most definitely let me know. You know what I'm saying?
Dog, this nigga's trash, dog. Trash, nigga.
Shut the fuck
up.
You diluted
fuck.
Dude's trash, man. It just lets me know, like, little shit, like inventory. You know what I'm saying? When you are in a warehouse setting, you have to make sure that you have all of your supplies. That has to be like management 101, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's damn near, that's common sense in the field. Like, you shouldn't have to tell anybody that. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't have to tell this motherfucker that I'm running out of some shit. You know what I'm saying? It's my job to let him know that I'm running out. Understand that. So you go run and tell him when you down to like maybe 5 to 3 or some shit. You know what I'm saying? 30 to 40 or some shit. If you packing like 100 to 200 shits, not 100, but if you packing like 10, 20, 30 things a day, you get down to your last 10, your last 20, 30, you weren't going to let them know, you know what I'm saying, I need a motherfucking refill. But once again,
Dog, this nigga's trash, dog. Trash, nigga.
Shut the
fuck up.
You diluted
fuck.
That's a silly ass sound bite. But yeah, man, this shit, it baffles me how motherfuckers just don't want to do their job. And then instead and I'm talking about management here, instead of you standing up, not only for yourself, but for your workers, you let the higher ups run over you. Like, come the fuck on, dog. Like, when you gonna grow up here? It's cool to be nice, but in certain settings, you have to be more assertive than nice. And I hope y'all understand what I'm saying by that when I say that. like I said, it's cool to be nice to people. It's cool to speak. It's cool to be cordial. But in certain settings, you can be nice, but you got to be assertive. You know what I'm saying? You got to take the initiative. You know what I'm saying? You got to be like on top of shit. You know what I'm saying? You just can't let a motherfucker talk to you any kind of way. Second thing I want to talk about. I want to talk about paying people back and how important that is. It is important to pay people back because we all know life gonna get a hold of your ass. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna be able to do this, do that. Bills come up, and then once all of your earned cash goes out, another bill comes up, and you may have to borrow a couple dollars. You know. Shout out to the support system. For people that have support systems that they can tap into to get these said funds. Shout out to them people, because that's very important too. But in having that support system, you can't abuse it, man. You know what I'm saying? You don't be the motherfucker that always go to work. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, never take that away from you. You'll get your ass up and go to work. But don't be the motherfucker that always borrows some money, but always find a way to not pay it back. You know? And I'm not gonna lie. I used to be that person. You know? And then it just dawned on me like, this motherfucker go to work just like you do. How would you feel if you help somebody out and you dragging your foot along trying to pay them? You'll be pissed. So don't do that. One of my pet peeves is, and I guess this goes under the guise of hypocrisy, but one of my pet peeves is is not doing shit that I can't stand other people doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, like I was talking about with the paying people back thing, don't be the person to get the motherfucking borrow this money and then don't pay it back. Like, I'm not going to do that to somebody else. Like, that's one of my, I try not to ever do that type of shit. Like, I'm trying to think, it's this motherfucking weed, man. I'm trying to think of some shit that get on my nerves that I try not to do to other people. And I'm drawing a fucking blank. Shout out to me.
Yeah, this nigga's trash, bro. Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck
you
up.
Diluted
You
fuck.
diluted fuck.
Right on. But shifting gears in an unrelated note, I want to talk about the Pistons for a minute. And I know we only 4 games in, but the Pistons are looking like, they look like a totally different team to me. And they pretty much got the same personnel, but I always knew that Stan Van Gundy.
Dog, this nigga's
trash, dog.
Trash,
nigga.
Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck
you
up.
Diluted
You
fuck.
diluted fuck.
I always knew Stan Van Gundy's system was trash, man. Bad. Garbage. You know. He still run that, that pick and roll shit. bigs, dive into the basket type shit, which is not a bad system. But I don't think that pick and roll shit should be like your main thing that you do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hate when teams just pick and roll to death, especially in college. When a college team is just pick and roll and everything, that's when I know that coach can't coach. He's not about X's and O's. He's more about the players, their ability. You know what I'm saying? What they're going to do on the fly, because the pick and roll is nothing but on the fly type of a play. You know what I'm saying? We used to do pick and rolls at the end of the shot clock. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, it's just something that you can just play off of. And what I'm seeing with the Pistons is like they're doing a lot of it's that Toronto system actually. Actually, it's that Toronto system. It's kind of like it got kind of like a Princeton feel to it. It's a lot of back doors, a lot of back screens, a lot of UCLA high post type stuff. Real, like with that type of offense, like if you lose sight of your man and the ball, it could be detrimental to you, because it was a lot of times in the beginning, like even in preseason, it was a lot of times where the slip play, and for those that don't know, the slip play is when a player is coming to engage in a screen, but he doesn't screen the man. He just slips to the basket, hence slip play. So a lot of the slips that the Pistons were doing was effective because, one, no one really plays defense in the NBA. And two, like I was saying, if you lose sight of man and ball in that type of offense, then it's going to be detrimental to you. So, shout out to Pistons. People love the Pistons, boy. Let me see what else is on the docket. I'm like Joe Budden. I don't even want to talk about that motherfucker. Talked enough about that. The whole E-Nas thing. Enough of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Talked about that enough on Facebook. If you follow me on Facebook, it was a whole big thing about that shit.
Dog, this nigga's trash. Dog.
True.
Get that shit
Trash.
out. Get that shit out
Shut
of
the
here.
fuck up.
Shut the fuck
You
up.
diluted fuck.
You diluted fuck.
Ooh, I know what I do want to talk about. I want to talk about high school basketball and how Michigan is being left behind in the whole exposure field of high school sports. And it's not just high school basketball, it's football too. Those that know, you know what I'm saying, unless you've been living under a rock, high school basketball is now being played on ESPN and Fox Sports. Like, it's a national thing. And since its insurgence on ESPN, Michigan has not been a part of it. Now, not to say Michigan players or guys from Detroit or whatever, you know, the residing areas, not saying that they are they're not a part of it, but the Michigan schools, the Detroit schools, Macomb, Oakland, Washtenaw, Calhoun, therefore, and whatever, those schools are not being represented. And the whole reason why these schools are not being represented is because the powers that be, i.e. the Michigan High School Association, their rules are prehistoric. There is no way to get around it. Their rules are prehistoric. They're using the same rules that they've had since their insurgent, whatever established date that they have. Like, they have a rule that no school can travel 150 miles outside their district to play. And, you know, I think that's unfair, man. Like, all the surrounding states can pretty much play each other. And, like, it's not like the other states don't want to come to Michigan, but why should they? You know what I'm saying? Like, why should we do y'all a favor? Like, get hip to the game. Like, you know what I'm saying? Either evolve or die. It's very simple. And a lot of schools have taken hits. Southfield Christian, I think they lost a player. Clarkston definitely lost a great guard in Wendell Green. He went to play in Indiana. I got not Renaissance. They're next. We got to talk about Renaissance. But Old Redford Academy really took a hit. Like, they went from being the number 2 team in the state, I'll say top 5 at least. They went from being the top 5 team in the state to not even being mentioned in the rankings because of this said rule by the Michigan High School Association. Isaiah Jackson and shout out Isaiah Jackson, shout out Mark Rocket Watts Jr. Shout them 2 guys out, man. You know, I'm pretty sure there's some incredible kids. Kids that have been through a lot. Talented kids, hardworking guys. Shout them out, man. And shout them out for being visionaries. And not necessarily visionaries, but being following suit, I should say. You know, because guys like Josh Jackson and Miles Bridges, Devin Booker, I can't think any more off the top of my head. But, you know, guys like that left the state to go and play to get better exposure. And it worked for them. Obviously. It worked for them. And I don't see how the Michigan High School Association can look at this. Like, how can you look at something, see it working, and not even try it? That's what baffles me. And that's what lets me know that this is just an association that's stuck in their ways. They don't want to not necessarily conform, but they don't even want to try. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is, with them 2 guys being gone, that's the number 5 power forward in the nation. And I want to say maybe the number 2 point guard in the state. I think he was like maybe 35 in the nation, maybe. Not sure. These old rankings too, I'm pretty sure they changed. But these were summertime rankings I'm talking about. But you take those 2 guys, they leave the state to go to Ohio. You know what I'm saying? To beef their graduating class up. You know what I'm saying? And then that in itself, like, when is some pride gonna kick in? Like, you got nationally ranked players that's playing for the schools that's in your association leaving to go to the surrounding state. Like, I don't understand it. I really don't. I don't understand why they're so stubborn. Like, that's just stubborn. That's just an association so hell-bent on doing things the way they used to do it. And they're just so hell-bent into thinking that their way is the only way. And that shit is trash, man. That shit is trash, man. That shit is a hindrance to these kids. That shit is a hindrance to programs. You know what I'm saying? It could be potential jobs that's involved in this. You know what I'm saying? It's just a hindrance across the board. And I don't know if anybody is even saying anything to them. I don't know if, if this, I'm hoping that this doesn't fall on deaf ear. But, like, they need to get this shit together, man. Or Michigan sports is just going to fall to the wayside as being just a mediocre, you know what I'm saying, just to be the school. Like, we're the outsource. You know, we get the kids that have the meats and the potatoes of Detroit basketball in them, but they showcase their talent outside of the place that they were born and raised. Like, I don't know why I'm the only one that bothers them, but that shit bothers the fuck out of me. I think that shit weak as fuck. Just like I think it's weak as hell that Renaissance would fire a coach that has had nothing but success his 5 years there. And shout out Vito Jordan. Why would you even mess with that program? You know? Like, and I don't know if y'all know about the dealings over at Renaissance, but the new principal there pretty much told the coach that we're going to have an open hire. And, you could come in for an evaluation, i.e. a job interview, and we're going to go from there. So before I make the long story short, for an administrator to come to a person that already has a job to tell them that we're going to have you apply for the job that you already have. Like, how many times are you going to slap me in the face in one conversation? You know what I'm saying? How many times are you going to slap me in the face in one fucking conversation?
Oh, this nigga's trash. Trash. Shut the fuck up. You diluted fuck.
That shit crazy. I already have this job, and you're gonna tell me that I have to go to a job. I have to have a job interview for a job that I already have. That will make you quit. That would definitely make the regular person quit. It's like, why am I applying? Why am I reapplying for the job that I already have? I've had this job for 5 years. It doesn't make sense. So, making a long story short, she goes and hires Mark White. And shout out Mark White. Look at up, man. Group it up. And shout out JJ. Shout him out. They go and hire Mark White. For those that don't know, Mark White, he was the former coach at Renaissance. He was the coach that had Ricky Paulding, Yusuf, I think his name LaRon Gray. I forget his name. But Joe Crawford, Malik Harrison. Yeah, they went to Renaissance. They didn't go here before they went to Renaissance. Anyway, great coach, great player developer, all around good guy, from what I know. And he was offered the job. And at first he took the job, but then he said that there were death threats and shots upon his character that would leave him unable to take the job at Renaissance. Now, I have a theory that goes with this. My theory is that the Murray Wright Mafia reared their ugly head and made Mark White not take that job. Somebody told that motherfucker, like, look here, you little yellow something. You take that job over there at Renaissance, you won't win a game. And we'll see to it. You won't have a player. And we'll fucking see to it. Shout out my Murray. Shout out, if it's true, shout out the Murray Wright Mafia. Now, once again, that's just a theory. I have no proof that any of that is true. I am merely going off newspaper reports that is public. That is public information. Now, the parents of the players have nothing but rave reviews for Coach Vito and his coaching staff and his dedication and his wherewithal for being there and being a good coach and, being a good mentor, because that all comes into coaching. You're not just teaching these guys how to be good players. You're not teaching them how to, just shoot, pass, and dribble. You're teaching these young men how to be men. You're teaching them how to be accountable. That's why you practice every day. You're teaching them how to be on time. You're teaching them how to be a teammate. What it's like to be a part of a brotherhood. To be a part of something bigger than yourself, to work for something as a team, as a unit, to know that the guy next to you, not only does he have your back, that this motherfucker will run through this wall that you ready to run through. That's what you have to exude to your players. So for Vito to be that type of guy, and the parents, because that's key. You have to understand that. The parents, that's very, very key, that the parents love Vito. Because there were reports that there was something going on in the program that may be detrimental to the students. if the parents love this coach, what is this detrimental thing? I don't know. Like I said, I'm not privy to inside information. I'm going off of all of newspaper clippings. But having the parents ride for the coach, to me, is very telling. Lets me know that he's very hands-on. The parents see him. The kids are reacting. You know, they're reacting in a positive way. You got different kids from different parts of the area that wants to come to Renaissance and play with you. Like, that's telling, man. So, I don't know. I really don't know. I do know this. That situation is a direct correlation to how this city tears down legacy and tears down foundation just for a quick fix. Their friends, I want you on the same, the friend nepotism thing. It's like the city, man. I love my city though. That's one thing you'll never be able to say about me, that I don't love my city. I fucking love my city. But this shit, I hate to say it, man. I'm ready to go, and I think I'm gonna end the podcast with how I feel I have to leave the state of Michigan, and I have to leave the city of Detroit. And the only reason why I have to leave is because the city of Detroit and the state of Michigan used to be a state where the working class could live, strive, provide, grow. This was a working man's state. And I feel that the powers that be, they are getting away from that. They're getting away from Michigan being what it was brought up on. The big three, railroads, politics, innovation. Like, I think they're getting away from that. And for whatever reason, it is now a burden on the working man. Because, for example, Detroit they have a sewage tax that's pretty much, they're taxing you to flush your toilet, to wash your dishes, to take a shower, wash your clothes, that type of shit. They were calling it a sewer tax because they were saying that when the rainwater hits your gutter, it hits the ground, and whatever, that water has to be treated, and we have to pay for the treatment. Whatever. When you actually call the water department and you ask questions, it's pretty much taxing you to fucking flush the toilet, dude. And that right there is another direct correlation to how Coleman Young, shout out Coleman Young. Give it up. Coleman Young was an advocate on keeping keeping the public service a Detroit thing. If we need to fill a pothole, the city of Detroit is going to fill that pothole. If we got a water main break, the city of Detroit is going to do that. If we got to take our trash out, the city of Detroit is going to come in front of your fucking house and take out your fucking trash. Not fucking waste management, not fucking Republic Service, fucking city of fucking Detroit. And just like they outsource the trash, they fucking outsource the goddamn water department. All these surrounding fucking counties, Hazel Park, Novi, fucking West Bloomfield, Canton, all them motherfuckers got a piece. Dearborn Heights, the same shit that Coleman Young was kicking their ass up out of here for. These motherfuckers let them have it, and this is what you get. Oh, this is also what you get when you don't fucking vote. You don't get these assholes that's been in city council for over 10, 20 years that watched this fucking city dissipate and didn't do shit but collect a fucking check. Now that's some bullshit. I feel everyone I feel everyone that has over a 10-year tenure as city council, they need to fucking resign. I'm sorry. You watch this fucking city crumble. It crumbled under your fucking watch. You've been the fucking city councilman for 10, 20 fucking years. Like, you obviously don't know what the fuck you do. Obviously, like, there's no shots being taken, motherfucker. Look at your work. Look at the fucking city. I can go outside right now and point out 7 abandoned fucking houses. 6 to 7 of these motherfuckers. So instead of the city council coming up with some type of revitalization or some shit, you know, either you tear these fucking houses down, or you have the people that own the houses, you make them do something with the fucking houses, or you tax their ass. It's fucking easy. Like, what the fuck? Maybe it ain't that easy. Whatever. But you can't tell me that's not a good fucking idea. At least it's a fucking idea. Like, goddamn. But no. Y'all would rather let this shit be an eyesore in the neighborhoods that y'all swear you motherfuckers care about. You swear you love these fucking neighborhoods oh so much. But you will let this abandoned fucking apartment building be at the corner of my goddamn block. Fuck out of here, man. You motherfuckers need to go. Y'all ain't did shit. Y'all ain't trying to do shit. Fuck out of here. Like I said, man, I love my city. And if I was to ever win the big game, I would disappear for like 18 to 24 months. And then I would come back and I would campaign to be mayor. And I feel fucking sorry for whoever is mayor and who's ever running for mayor. I feel sorry for you because you're going to lose. Shit. I'll beat Mike Duggan ass right now. Right fucking now. I'll bust Mike Duggan ass. Because Mike Duggan don't know shit about this goddamn city. He don't know what this fucking city need. You know what this fucking city need? This city need jobs. And not just jobs in fucking Canton and fucking Wixom You know, and you know what the funny part about that shit is? When you live in the city and you put in for a job interview out in Wixom, first off, you like, fuck it, it's Wixom. I'm pretty sure they're not going to call me back. And guess what Wixom does? Call you back. So you take your happy ass out there, drive a good 45, maybe 35, 45 minutes. You know, have a maybe subpar interview with the person. And guess what these motherfuckers do? Offer you the job. So now, you have a job. Don't get me wrong. Kudos to you. Shout out for getting the job. But your job's in Wixom. You live on the west side of Detroit. You got to drive 45 miles. You got to drive 45 minutes to make fucking $11.50 an hour. Can somebody please explain to me how you're supposed to fucking live? Oh, I guess you gotta move to Wixom. That's your only solution. Like, fuck living in your city. You gotta move to Wixom because you have an $11.50 hour job that you have to be at. Because if you don't work, you don't eat. So I say all that to say, I'm bringing those Amazon jobs. You gotta come a little close, beloved. You know what I'm saying? You gotta come a little closer than goddamn Plymouth and Canton and Wayne. Like, you gotta come a little closer. You know what I'm saying? Let's cut this commute in half. Another thing I would do is I would start a building / worksman apprenticeship, if you will. See, all these abandoned houses around here, I would, and I don't know if the city can do this. I don't know if the city can put a lien on them, but whatever that I can do to get these motherfuckers' attention to come to one place so I can talk to them, that's what I would do. Get these motherfuckers